If you found yourself in Prince Harry's position, you'd likely feel rather uneasy. It's not an everyday occurrence for a former staff member to unexpectedly rise to the defense of your wife's honor, especially when that person is a rugged, athletic individual from the security team who shadowed Meghan Markle day and night. In today's world, sadly, marital infidelity has become commonplace, even among the royals. The trend was famously set by Charles and Camilla, making the possibility of infidelity seem almost expected. During my time working with Meghan Markle, I learned a valuable lesson. To earn respect, one must give respect, said Steve Davis, the former bodyguard of the Duchess of Sussex. Consider, for example, that even Princess Diana was once rumored to have had Prince Harry with someone other than Charles. Despite her public image of sainthood, she maintained close ties with James Hewitt and Mark Dyer while still officially married to Charles. However, theories suggesting Meghan's secret liaisons are unfounded. The reality is far more irrational. Protection services represent not just physical safety but also a significant status symbol, particularly for Meghan and Harry. It's doubtful that Meghan is under constant threat requiring round-the-clock protection. Still, she sees herself as a princess deserving of an entourage. The more people attending to the Duchess of Sussex's every need, the better. The Hollywood Reporter published an article depicting her as a challenging boss, which elicited remarks from King Charles about the difficulties of dealing with Meghan. Despite the scandal that ensued, Meghan seems unfazed, continuing to live life according to her own rules. Despite her contentious reputation, some still find reason to stand by Meghan. Steve Davis is among the few former employees who remain loyal even after their departure. On September 26, Blonde Notes published an article titled "Dictator in Heels, Meghan Markle," where Steve revealed that he was hired by NBC in 2018 to protect Meghan Markle, who was then still an actress on one of their shows. This happened prior to her wedding. The details remain murky. It's unclear why a second-tier actress needed the protection of a British Special Forces veteran. Perhaps this was orchestrated by Harry, or it might have been mandated by Charles since Meghan was already engaged to his son. She was just an actress from soap operas but also the fiancée of a prince. Turning our attention to the subject of actresses, Hollywood possesses a kind of hierarchical system for its performers, akin to a caste system. Ascending from one level to another is a considerable challenge, requiring not only evident talent but also a range of other skills and attributes to reach the status of a star. In this context, Meghan Markle's acting abilities could be described as fairly unremarkable. Meghan has been known to claim that she abandoned her acting career because of her newfound responsibilities as a royal family member. However, that's only part of the truth. The reality is that Meghan encountered difficulties with her acting career even before her wedding to Harry. It's mentioned that her producer struggled significantly to secure roles for her. Among Hollywood's actors, Meghan found herself at the lower end of the list, with her greatest exposure coming from appearances in TV series and cable television programs. When noteworthy personalities such as George Clooney and Oprah Winfrey received their wedding invitations, it reportedly took them some time to identify who exactly Meghan Markle was. An interview that never took place. There weren't any clandestine connections lurking in the shadows. The reality was far more fascinating. Astonishingly, even the bodyguard, Steve Davis, was unaware that he had been maneuvered into the position of being Meghan's defender in the media landscape. The poignant and supposedly honest letter attributed to the former bodyguard, and published by a newspaper, turned out to be entirely fictitious. In other words, to escape her reputation of being a troublesome boss and an unreasonable person, Meghan, along with her PR team, orchestrated an impressive deception, a letter purportedly from her ex-bodyguard, which they had published in a newspaper. Was this a clever ploy? Could it have worked in their favor? Potentially, it might have. After all, What are the odds of a British veteran keeping track of American media outlets? Yet, through some fortunate or unfortunate twist of fate, Steve discovered the entire fabrication. Of course, Meghan maintains her innocence, asserting she wasn't involved and continuing to play the role of the victim, a portrayal that comes quite naturally to an actress. Nonetheless, the newspaper was compelled to issue a retraction, which appeared 2 weeks after the original controversial article. In Harry's memoirs, the royal family members are depicted as overly emotional and lacking resilience, unable to embrace the American orphan with open hearts. The orphan opted to retaliate, so to speak. It seems that this time, Meghan potentially overlooked fully vetting the narrative her PR team shared with the newspaper. The retraction from the Bodyguard eventually surfaced in The Hollywood Reporter. Rather surprisingly, it took them 2.5 weeks to print it. Perhaps Meghan was on the lookout for someone to rise to her defense. That didn't materialize as expected. Instead, she had to fabricate the entire protection story herself. It is difficult not to feel a twinge of sympathy towards Meghan. She maintains an impeccable facade, yet the individuals surrounding her seem incapable of understanding the complex and profound nature of the Duchess's character.